Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me once again. So, you know those group of migrant illegal aliens that assaulted the police officer in New York when they were trying to arrest another illegal, whatever that crime may have been. Uh, they were released without bail. Yeah, they were released without bail. These criminals were released without bail. Let's get right into this article. I don't need to say much else after this. Let's get right into the article. Cause yeah. Great. This is America. This is the America we live in. The upside down America. This is not the America of old. You can forget about that. But a mob of migrants in the sanctuary city of New York City, New York, mercilessly attacked New York Police Department officers on Tuesday. After the migrants were arrested, they were released from jail without having to pay a dime in bail. In jail without the bail. That's what. Remember that song back in the '80s by the Fat Boys? In jail without the bail. Psh, no, these cats were released from jail without the bail. They weren't in jail without the bail. They were released from jail with no bail. How about that? Sick. According to the New York Daily News, the migrants were approached by three in New York City police officers in Midtown Manhattan outside of a taxpayer-funded migrant shelter. It's your taxpayer money. That's your money taking care of them. All of the migrants, according to reports, are living in the taxpayer-funded shelters set up by Mayor Eric Adams with his two-faced self. Footage of the attack shows the mob ruthlessly beating the officers, including kicking them in the head and back, because officers attempted to put one of the migrants under arrest. And clearly they were putting one of the migrants under arrest because clearly that migrant was doing something they ought not have been doing. They was breaking the law. That's why they were putting them under arrest. I guess these other ones felt like that's their homie, that's their friend or whatever, so they're going to go ahead and attack the police officer. Man, let's go on. And I saw the video. It's pretty brutal. The officers were treated at the scene of the attack the officers were treated at the scene of the attack. While following a manhunt throughout the area, two 19-year-old migrants, a 21-year-old migrant, and a 24-year-old migrant were arrested and charged with assaulting police. The four migrants were all released from jail without bail thanks to a New York state law. Now get this now. Get this. That ensures that suspects charged with crimes deemed non-violent and many violent crimes are not eligible to pay bail. So let me get this straight. This beating up on a police officer, and I saw the video, they were beating up on this man, stomping him. I think one of them kicked him. That's considered non-violent? I don't even need to speak on that. Anybody with a brain knows that's a bunch of bull crap. Illegals can walk across the border, beat up cops in New York City, and be released without bail, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said of the attack. This is a national embarrassment. Deport the illegals and close the border. This is what he said. This is what Ron DeSantis said. Unbelievable, man. This is really bad. It's really bad. This is an embarrassment. Republican Allison I can't pronounce the last name, running for Congress in New York's 18th congressional district, said New Yorkers, quote, are living in an upside down world, end quote. Absolutely. Thanks to wave of illegal immigrants coupled with bail reform, our leaders have created a system where criminals are protected over law-abiding citizens and illegal migrants are prioritized over police officers. Allison said. New York Democrats have embraced pro-criminal laws that embolden criminals, effectively surrendering our streets to lawlessness. That should be clear to anyone that even sees it. Since the spring of 2022, close to 200,000 border crossers and illegal aliens have arrived in New York City, and more than 67,000 remain living off the taxpayer dime in city-run shelters. In the article, and then we wonder why, or rather, I won't say we wonder why, but a lot of these politicians on both the left and the right, Democrats and Republicans, wonder why no one wants to vote for them. No one wants to vote for them because they're sick and tired of you politicians allowing this insanity to take place. But I would argue that a lot of this insanity that's taking place is on purpose. It's on purpose. Our country has been infiltrated by communists. Communists have infiltrated our country and have been a part of our country for decades. And I feel that in order for us to stop this kind of stuff, we have to recognize what communist policies are and what the words, terms, and rhetoric they use to gather the masses around their worldview. Okay, there's a Trojan horse. When they tell you we're going to give you this and give you that and give you this and give you that, watch out. That's exactly how communist insurgents act and talk. Do not fall for the nonsense. But like I said, I feel that this has been the plan from day one and goes all the way back to the 1960s to completely cause chaos. And I think that the way in which we as voters of this country stop it, at least to some extent, is that we got to recognize who these people are in the political realm and not vote for them. I'm going to be real with you. We as American citizens are large in part to blame because we have collectively ignored the rhetoric that these politicians, particularly those on the radical left, have pushed. We have refused to recognize the rhetoric. And when someone on the outside that has skill and knowledge to show us how this rhetoric is initiated, we ignore it. Oh, they're just trying to help us. They just want us to have free education and free this and free that and free that. Nothing is free in the world. Even if it's free for you, when a politician says they want to give you this, someone else is paying for it. Come on, man. Someone else is paying for the freedom that they claim they're giving you. Now, let's get back with this situation with these police officers here and these illegals assaulting the police officers. What this does is this sends a message to illegals that come over here. This sends a clear message. As the article says, and as the politician says, this sends a clear message to them. We can beat up on law enforcement officers, at least in the city of New York. We can beat up on law enforcement officers and they can't do anything about it. Because the way radical progressive Democrats see us, they see us as oppressed and victims of poverty, and that we do what we do because we're impoverished. Bull crap. Anybody with a brain, if you have a brain, there is no way you can fall for such rhetoric. But people do, unfortunately. But there is no way if you have a brain that you could fall for such rhetoric. There's no way. And let me get back to this whole idea of the communist insurgent situation. Part of the communists' goal is to destroy law enforcement, to take power from law enforcement. Why? Because in order to bring about a Marxist revolution in a country, you have to have chaos. And one of the ways in which to create chaos is to take power from the law enforcement agency. And one of the ways in which you do so, particularly in the West, is to infiltrate the political institution, create laws that go soft on criminals, that protect the criminals. And once again, criminals will be emboldened or encouraged to commit acts of violence to the citizens and even police officers. And when that happens on a consistent basis, you're going to have moral chaos from the people, the residents that live in that area. They're going to get mad. They're going to get angry. They're going to get bitter, which is the objection. To get them mad, angry, and bitter, till there is a clashing of the groups. And when the clashing of the groups takes place, the great and almighty government comes in and saves the day. This is the process that has been taking place in this country. It is a process that has taken place in places like Russia, communist Russia in the years past, communist China, communist Cuba, same pattern. And then the government takes over the police force, and the police force now are policing for the government and not the people. Therefore, if you and I break any laws, it will be laws broken by the communist totalitarian government that says you can't do this and you can't do that and you can't say this and you can't think this and you can't drink this kind of water and you can't breathe this kind of air and you can't use this and you can't do that, but you can only do this. If you break any of those laws, their police force will take you to jail, put you in a concentration camp, maybe wipe you out or brainwash you into accepting, rather, the communist regime. That's how it goes. That's not my opinion. That's an actual fact. Study communist history. You'll find out. Now, let me start summing this video up, man, because this is insane. This is absolutely insane. And it's time for America to wake up, man. It's time for people in New York to wake up and stop putting these people in office. It is these lawmakers that are doing this. And it is the people who are putting them in office. We have to wake up to this reality. Now, I wanted to show you guys two books here. You see these two books right here? One says Blue Lies, and the other says The War on Cops. Why did I point them two books out? When that one book that says Blue Lies right here, okay, one says Blue Lies, it's not saying blue lies in terms of the police officers. It's saying blue lies in terms of there's a war on police officers. It says blue lies, and at the bottom it says the war on justice and the conspiracy to weaken America's cops. And then this one says the war on cops, which is pretty straightforward right there. And it says with the new attack on law and order makes everyone less safe. I highly recommend, if you guys do not have those books, I highly recommend you buy those books. You can get them out for Amazon. They're really, really well done. The one titled The War on Cops is written by a journalist, Heather McDonald, highly respected journalist. Very, very, when I read that book, it just blew me away. The War on Cops blew me away. The whole narrative of, I'm not going to go into details. I just really highly recommend you guys buy the book. That's all I'm going to say. Blue Lies was actually written by a retired police officer. So I highly recommend it because it fits the paradigm of what we're seeing here in our country with this lawlessness. The lawlessness is not from the police officer. That's a bunch of bull crap. The mainstream media is a bunch of, I cannot stand the mainstream media because they twist and tell lies. They twist stuff to get views. Lawlessness is not by the police officers. It's by the criminals who are emboldened to continue to commit these crimes, whether they are native born here in America or from some other country. And I believe it's all planned to bring chaos into our country. But I believe the answer is the American people waking up to the reality of this, learning how to discern and make better judgment calls when it comes to the politicians they vote for on a local, state, and federal level, and putting people in office on a local, state, and federal level who actually care about law and order. If people don't care about law and order, stuff like this will continue to go on. Particularly, and I'm going to say this, especially, unfortunately, I know I'm going to get a lot of backlash for this because people think I'm lashing out on black people. Now, I'm not. But unfortunately, this is prevalent in the black community because we have taken on the mantle, if you will, of celebrating criminals. What is so cool about celebrating criminals and thugs? It's not cool. It's destroying our community. I could make a whole video on that, but I'm not because I know I've been criticized for coming down on black people and this, that, and the other. And I'm going to mix it up. I'm going to mix it up. You know, I'll mix it up with some positive things. Okay, I get it. I try to take some of the criticism into consideration. I don't want to be too dogmatic about that. But at the same time, I got to tell the truth, man. You know, in order for us to become better, we got to get better collectively. In order for us to be better, we got to get better. We have to stop defending criminals. And as American citizens, we have to start voting for people that actually care for the country and actually believe in law and order. You cannot enjoy the goods that you have earned if you got criminals all around you trying to take it from you and not being punished for it. It don't work like that. It does not work like that. So I just wanted to say that this is ridiculous. This is crazy, but I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised, because look at the people we have in office. Progressive Democrats. If they tell you they're a progressive Democrat, watch out. Watch out. It's a mirage. It's a trick. It's a Trojan horse. Dig a little bit deeper on what progressive Democrats really are. And I'm not talking about from the mainstream media and coming from their mouth. They're liars. They don't believe in right or wrong. I'm talking about getting some books and reading and studying and finding out what they really represent. And you'll be shocked. But that's what I had to say about that. What do you guys think about this situation? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.